Hello and welcome to this short video. In this I'd like to just give you a brief overview as to what dermoscopy is and how it may be relevant to podiatry, but then to go on and answer one of the most commonly posed questions that I receive, and that is, what dermatoscope should I invest in? What should I buy as my first dermatoscope? So, what is dermoscopy? Dermoscopy is something which has been around for about 20 years, and it's a technique that's been very widely adopted in dermatology, but less so in podiatry. And what it consists of is examination of the skin using a device called a dermatoscope. Now, a dermatoscope is very simply a handheld tool that allows close visual examination of the skin by using magnification and powerful LED lights. What this does is give you fine detail which is not normally visualized with the naked eye, so it gives you finer detail when you're assessing individual skin lesions. Where it's found its place is in the early recognition of many skin cancers such as squamous cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma and basal cell carcinoma. And besides that, new research is appearing all the time showing its applications in other areas of dermatology. For the practicing podiatrist, dermoscopy can be a very useful clinical tool, not only, as I mentioned earlier, in potentially the recognition of an earlier melanoma that requires referral, but also in the day-to-day assessment of other common skin lesions. One of the most common questions I get asked is how do I get into dermoscopy, but particularly what sort of dermatoscope should I buy? And what I'm going to do now is to give you my tips for choosing the right dermatoscope for you. Top tip number 1. A dermatoscope is for life, not just for Christmas. That's a saying we've all heard regarding dogs, but in this case it does also apply to dermatoscopes as well. Because the thing is, if you buy a quality dermatoscope, it should last you most of your professional career. So the first thing to say is always buy the type of dermatoscope you want from the start. It's very tempting when you start out in the world of dermoscopy by looking at devices and think, I'll go for a cheaper one because then as I get to know how to use it, I can buy a better one. But actually, this is probably a false economy. So when you start out, look at the dermatoscopes, see which one you like and get it. This is because these devices have very few moving parts, they don't wear out, they're very reliable generally day to day, so it's important to buy the one you want right from the start, because you'll quickly outgrow that smaller one and then you'll wish you bought the more expensive one in the first place. So top tip number 1, always buy the right dermatoscope at the start. Top tip number 2. Cheap is not always better. When I was looking on the internet this morning at the prices of dermatoscopes on various auction sites, I could see they started from ridiculously low prices, like about £30. Needless to say, like most things in life, you only get what you pay for. And I'd strongly recommend that you look very, very carefully when purchasing a dermatoscope to make sure it's quality and that it will last. Cheaper devices often don't have the quality, but more often don't come with the after-sales service, which leads me into my next tip. Top tip number 3. Always buy your dermatoscope from a reputable dealer. In the UK, there are a few companies that sell dermatoscopes to healthcare professionals, and I'd strongly recommend that you use one of these companies, which I'll list on the website, to make your purchase. And therefore, if things do go wrong, there's always someone on the end of the phone who can help, or if you do need repairs or spares, these are the people to contact and they'll always be there when you need them. Top tip number 4, get some training. A dermatoscope is not something that you can receive in the post and use straight from the box. It's a device that requires certainly some degree of training and experience. And I'd strongly recommend that you get 1 to 2 days intensive training on the use of the dermatoscope. Throughout the UK every year there are a number of training courses that are undertaken in dermoscopy, and these range from beginners to intermediate to advanced courses that you can go on. And I'd strongly recommend that if you do buy a dermatoscope, before you start using it, you have a look and attend one of these courses. And also remember that as this is a relatively new sort of field, that there are many developments. So as part of your CPD, if you're using dermoscopy on a regular basis, make sure you're keeping up to date and going on refresher courses and keeping up to date with the literature at the same time. So before you start using it, always get some training. Top tip number 5. Which brand should I buy? Well, buying a dermoscope is very much a personal choice, but what I will do is give you my 3 brands of dermoscopes, and these will be the ones that I'm reviewing on the website as they're all quality brands. The first is a German manufacturer called Heine, who've been in business for many years and make a full range of dermoscopes. The second is an American company called 3Gen. 3Gen make the Dermlight range of dermoscopes, again, which I'll be reviewing in due course. The third company is a British manufacturer called Opticlar, relatively new into the market, but worth a look. Thanks for watching this short video, and in forthcoming videos I will be reviewing some of the more common dermatoscopes and particularly focusing on their use in podiatry, helping you to decide which might be the best dermatoscope for you. Thanks for watching.